This
Okay.
conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, everyone. It's 7:30. My mic should be off on the iPad. Are you hearing double?
Yeah, if you could turn down your volume, please, on the iPad.
Okay. 7:30, July 23rd, work session of the Allendale Mayor and Council. Welcome to everyone who's joining us via video and telephone and teleconference. We ask that you please mute your devices at this time so as not to distract from the business of the meeting. There will be several opportunities for the public to be heard tonight, and we will advise you of the appropriate times. And for those of you, just as to refresh your recollection, 3 times, 1 in the work session, 2 in the regular session. So we will begin the work session. Michelle, please read the Open Public Meeting Act announcement.
Sure. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, the notice requirements have been satisfied. The meeting dates for the year confirmed at the annual meeting are posted on the public bulletin board in the municipal building, published in the record within the first 10 days of the new year, and copies are sent to the Ridgewood News and Star Ledger. Notice of this meeting by the July 21st sunshine notice was sent to the record, the Ridgewood News and Star Ledger, and has been posted on the public bulletin board in the municipal building and borough website.
Great, thank you, Michelle. Please conduct a roll call.
Sure. Councilwoman Holman?
Here.
Councilman O'Connell?
Here.
Councilman O'Toole?
Here.
Councilman Sasso?
Here.
Councilman Strouch?
I'm here, but my audio is garbled, so I may exit and come back on to see if it clears up.
And Jim, to me, you sound fine to me.
Am I the only person who's hearing garbled?
You sound okay to me too.
Yeah, you sound good to me, Jim.
I'll be back on in a minute.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you. And Councilwoman Wilsinski?
Here.
And Mayor Bernstein?
Great, I'm here. Thank you, Michelle. All right, so public comment. This is the first of 3 times that we open the meeting to the public. This is the one time during the work session. For anyone who wishes to be heard, to please notify me. I can't see anyone, but is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard at this time?
Yes, it's Kristen Sarnas, 74 Heights.
Hi, Kristen. I don't know why I can't see you. Tyler, is that a setting on my device? Kristen, just bear with me.
Okay.
I can see her, so maybe it's your
I
device.
can see her too. Hi. Well, I can see.
Yeah, but is there ways to see? You could use my laptop. Okay. Okay. Hey, Kristen.
Hi there. So I came by tonight because I wanted to ask if there's an update on the deer culling situation. I know last year we were all hoping we were going to do one, and then I don't think we did, and Saddle River did one. I was just hoping that we were going to get to it this fall.
Okay. I mean, I think we reached out to the county. I think Councilman Sasso had sent a letter last year or 2 years ago. Is that right, Steve?
Yes, that's correct. I did write a letter that we all signed when Mayor Liz White was here, asking the county for their partnership, because if you look at a map of county parkland, from a geographic standpoint, I forget the number now, Kristen, but if you want to contact me tomorrow, I'll go through my notes. Just give me a call.
Sure.
If you look at it geographically, a large portion of county parkland is within only a few miles of here, the closest of which is, like 3 miles. And they have repeatedly refused to do anything at all to control the deer population. And really, without their partnership, it'd be like one resident on his property trying to trying to control the chipmunk population.
Right, which is why, exactly why, we haven't really done it for our yard, even though we really need it. Because we feel like, okay, so you get rid of those 5 deer that sleep off the side of our fence, and there's just gonna be 10 more the next
Well,
day.
that's exactly the position that Allendale is in with the deer relative to the amount of county parkland nearby. It would be probably a waste of time and money, and I'm not sure how much of an impact it would have. So that's kind of where we left off. I've been monitoring the situation in Saddle River pretty carefully. I've also spoken to a few Saddle River councilmen. I'm not 100% sure if they even know or can really understand the material results of the call that they've been doing. But you know what? I'm happy to put it on the agenda for the Land Use Committee.
That sounds great. I'd really like to see if we could do something about it. I'd love to know if Saddle River's 100 deer, I feel like it was from last year, that they culled, what kind of impact have they seen with that? Or are they still having the same issues? Or did the deer just come in from our town and go more over there? I don't know. So
Well,
I would just hear
I'm
that.
happy to take that. I'm happy to take that back.
Steve,
What would you like, Kristen, what would you like to see happen exactly? If it were a perfect world where we could do whatever we wanted, what would you
Yeah.
like?
I would love to see the county put in some money to do it, and then have each town be in charge of the call in their town and do it in with a coordinated effort.
Okay.
So that
So
we all,
you'd like to see a cull then, is what I'm getting at.
oh yeah, yes.
Okay.
And I think that's the operative word that you just said, Kristen, is coordinated effort. For us, a 2.5 square mile town, to try to go through all of this expense and whatever, the impact, it would just not be significant. So it's really important that we all contact the county again. And I think that's an effort we could all help with, give some contact names, et cetera, of who to contact in the county. But without the county coordination, I'm not really sure how much of an impact it would be. I mean, we would have to have a call, I think, like every couple of weeks to make any type of impact.
So, Kristen, and Steve, I'm happy for your input, but I don't know that it's necessarily a land use committee issue. We have discussed it in several of the committees. We have reached out to the county. We met with Jim Wright regarding drones to determine how the deer population and next steps forward. So we're in solidarity that something should be done. The path forward is not clear, but we will address it. And if you want to check back with us next meeting, we'll let you know our steps.
That sounds great. I just don't want to miss the timeline, because that would have to happen in like November.
Well, to do it, it has to happen during deer hunting season. You can't have your own hunting season. And that, as you obviously know, that would be November.
Right.
The last I checked. Now, I'll also tell you that a couple of years ago, I walked the celery farm with a member of the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. And I don't want to misquote them, it's been a while, but they thought that the situation at the celery farm relative to the deer damage was critical.
Yeah.
And felt that the celery farm would probably be an open field within one generation.
Yeah, I remember that presentation. I was present.
Yeah,
Yep.
The simple reason is that as old trees fall down through age and storms, new trees are being eaten. So nothing is being replaced. So through natural, well, it's not really natural, it's an unnatural situation, but through unnatural attrition, the trees are slowly disappearing.
Right.
And actually, I'm thinking, Steve, that maybe we could reach out to Jim, because he may be able to give an update, because they did fence off a portion in the celery farm as sort of a way, and I don't unfortunately know all the details, but a way of illustrating the difference between the areas where the deer are constantly feeding and are versus this enclosed area, so that they could see over time. And I'm just not sure what the timeline was. Obviously, they're gonna, whether it's multiple years, but we'll be able to see, you know, probably in relatively quickly, just with the ability of the deer kind of nibbling at the, you know, at their level.
Yeah, that's a great point,
Yeah.
Liz. You can clearly
So
see
I'll-
that in Celery Farm, and it's a significant area.
I will reach out to Jim and Mike Limatola, who's the marsh warden, and Jim, who's the deputy marsh warden. I'll reach out to them. I'm going to reach out to Saddle River,
Hey,
in the next few weeks.
Steve, for purposes of getting through the work session, let's move through it. And if you want to discuss it in your report, let's discuss it in your report, but we're gonna, by 8 o'clock. So Kristen, great point. Anything else?
Yeah, actually, I do have one other thing. Regarding the 2020 paving program, resolution 2182 that you're going to pass tonight, is the list of the streets available? And does anyone know if my road, Heights Road, is on it? Because we were not on it last year, and I was crossing my fingers we'd get it this year. The patches were made. I think Councilman O'Toole helped us get some patches put in last year, which was great, but they've already worn away and we have the same holes again. So I'm hoping Heights Road is on there.
So I'm not going to be the bearer of good news or bad news. I'm going to turn that over to Ron Kistner.
Yeah, good evening. No, it's not on the current list, but there is negotiations with Orange and Rockland due to the work they did. And I'll be getting prices for the borough engineer, and hopefully the funds will be there, but it's not part of the municipal paving project. But there is talk with Orange and Rockland for the work they did last year. So there is still hope that it will be paved.
Okay. Were you able to hear that, Kristen?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, good. Anyone else wish to be heard during the work session?
Hi, Mayor Mark Savastano.
Hey, Mark, how are you?
Good, thank you. I just want to briefly thank Kristen for her comments on the deer, and I'm right behind her with the culling. I agree that that's absolutely necessary. And this is not necessarily a local issue, but I did want to make mention of the unfortunate death of John Lewis. I think it bears mentioning as one of the most courageous and principled men in U.S. history. Fought tirelessly against oppression and bigotry. I think it bears mentioning in our meeting.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. Anyone else wish to be heard? Not seeing anyone, we'll move to the administration part of the work session, and we will do the agenda review. For the minutes of the May 28th regular session, as well as the June 30th and July 9th work and regular session are listed for approval. Everyone was in attendance, either in person or telephonically or video wise, so everyone is eligible to vote. After that's the consent agenda. We have 10 resolutions. First is the bill list. I reviewed it. Councilman O'Toole?
Yes, I have.
Okay, Amy, have you reviewed it as well?
Yes, Ari, I have.
Great, thanks. Okay. Next, 20-178, authorized refunds per lease agreement, intersection improvements of Hillside and West Crescent Ave. This is routine yearly refund to two property owners that the borough entered into an agreement with many years ago when we were making traffic light improvements at Hillside and West Crescent Avenue. Next on the agenda, 20-179, authorized continued participation in the Houston Galveston Cooperative Pricing System. This is another routine resolution, which we will continue our participation in the Houston Galveston Cooperative Pricing System throughout the years. The borough has been able to purchase vehicles and other needed equipment through this co-op. We've saved money, but also have the cost of having to bid, also save the cost of having to bid on these ourselves. It's been a very beneficial program, and we will continue to be a part of that. 20-180 is authorized execution of the letter of participation to turn the town's teal Allendale Women's Club. Again, the borough is happy to support the Allendale Women's Club efforts to raise awareness for ovarian cancer. They will be turning the town teal by tying ribbons around the trees in the month of September. So that's something that we happily are a part of. 20-181, approve adjustment for 2020 Crestwood Lake membership. The borough will be approving 20 financial hardship Two, excuse me, thank you. Two, sorry for the.
Don't worry, Lisa.
Sorry, Lisa. If you could call those 18 and just tell them that it's not this time, maybe the next time. Two, financial hardship discounts for Crestwood members. 20-182, award contract for the paving program 2020 bid, DNL paving. And 20-183, award the contract for the 230 West Crescent Avenue seal remediation bid to the Ambient Group. So the borough recently received bids, one for road repaving and another for soil remediation at 230 West Crescent Avenue. DNL paving will be awarded a contract to pave the rest of Cambridge Drive, High Street, and portions of Pearl Court on resolution 20-182. And the Ambient Group will be awarded the contract for soil remediation at 230 West Crescent Avenue pursuant to resolution 20-183. So for 20-183, I don't know, Amy, if you wanted to speak to that.
No, we had actually 12 people to pick up the bids, and this Ambient Group, which is out of Western New Jersey, was the lowest bid. So our LSRP is happy to work with them. So we look forward to proceeding.
Great. 20-184, authorize hire of police department personnel, police dispatcher, part-time hourly, Lisa Crescente and John Rubino. The police department has requested to add more part-time dispatchers to their roster to fill in as needed. So this resolution will be for hiring 2 more. 20-185, award the contract furnishing and delivering of roadway rock salt on an as-needed basis, Bergen County Cooperative Pricing System, Chemical Equipment Labs. So I know at times we wish it was the winter due to the 90-degree heat, but it's not, but we have to prepare for it. So this resolution helps us be prepared when that time comes by continuing our participation in the Bergen County contract for rock salt. Ron, do I have that right?
Yes.
Okay.
The Rossville, yes. There's another county contract that I'll hold up.
Okay. 20-186, authorized proposal, construction management services for the West Allendale Avenue Streetscape Project, Neglia Engineering Associates. On June 11th, we awarded the contract for this downtown streetscape project. Now we're ready to approve our engineer for special projects, Neglia Engineering proposal for construction management services. Ron, would you like to speak to that?
No, you're right on. We're ready to start the work. The work was awarded to Sakara Construction. The project is a large project. It's going to be a very wonderful and benefit project to the municipality. Fortunately, I have done some large work projects with the county with Neglia Engineering as the construction manager, and I'm looking forward to work with them and the facility committee here to have a successful project here as well.
Great. Amy, would you like to add anything to that as
Yeah,
well?
I think that says it perfectly. I look forward to getting to working on this project in the near future.
Great. Okay. Thank you. And thank you for all your work on that. So that is the end of the agenda review. So maybe we can do some committee reports. Councilman O'Connell, would you like to give your report?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. We had an OEM meeting this past week, and I'd like to say that Allendale is still one of the lowest in Bergen County for having COVID cases, but everybody still has to practice keeping their social distancing. And in light of the current events, the Allendale Police Department has been trained in all aspects by the state of New Jersey of everything that they require. Most of the training, of course, has been online since the academy's not up and there's no thing in person. Training hasn't started up yet. The calls into dispatch as of 3:30 this afternoon was 9,255. 911 calls was 854. Fire department calls were 78, and ambulance was 221. And on a lighter note, the Junior Police Academy completed on July 10th. There was a lot of heat and a little rain, but everybody was very happy that they were able to do it, and it was very successful. even though they were wearing their masks in the heat. They had a helicopter landing at the field. Bomb squad was there, K-9 unit, SWAT team. They had a lot of events for the kids, and everybody seemed to enjoy it. I think that's about it, Mayor. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Councilman Sasso, would you like to give your report?
Sure, thank you. So the Land Use Committee met this past Monday at 7:45 a.m. We had probably one of the shortest meetings that we've ever had. We usually have very long meetings in land use, but we had a quick one. And it was quick because I'm happy to say that things in construction code, despite this crazy world we're living in right now, is going smoothly. They are finding ways to do their inspections, which keep everybody safe and comfortable. So they're getting that done. Property maintenance, which is basically an outdoor activity, is not impacted and is going very, very well. And I want to thank Ron Kistner for all of his help with both those departments in keeping them running smoothly. And also Mike Limatola, our property maintenance officer, and our marsh warden, Celery Farm marsh warden as well, for doing a great job. I do a lot of walking, as everybody knows, and I can't tell you the last time I saw anything on my walks where I had a problem with. So everybody's doing, residents are doing a great job. Construction code, zoning, and property maintenance are doing a great job. So we had a pretty quick meeting. I did say to construction code that if there was, and I say this to anybody within the sound of my voice, any residents that see anything in our code, zoning, construction code, property maintenance, anything related to land use that they feel needs to be added, amended, removed, updated, I'm all ears. I'm just an email away. I'm happy to hear from anybody. Also on the subject of land use, the fire chief, who was mentioned in our agenda review as a dispatcher, part-time dispatcher, and I, a few months ago, were talking about the dry weather, and I've mentioned this on previous meetings. This is nothing new, but we talked about having the fire department, in conjunction with the New Jersey State Forest Fire Service, post on the fire department's Facebook page the current fire danger warning. If you go to a state park or even a county park, you see that Smoky Bear sign with current fire dangers, low, medium, high. So they're posting that on the fire department's website. So I would encourage everybody to go to the page, like the page, and check it out. And when the fire danger is certainly high or higher, as it's been lately, I know everybody's careful, but be extra careful with your fire pits and outdoor fires that we all enjoy, myself included. But I always have a nice water extinguisher right next to me at all times out there. And when we go to bed, it is out and like you don't see any smoke and it's completely soaked. Never throw a cigarette out your car window or anywhere else, and just be extra careful. So go to the fire department's page. It's a good idea anyway. Like them, or 100% volunteer fire department. Be careful during the high dangers, because July's been a very wet month, but we're still in very dry conditions, and the fall could be very dry. And earlier this month, we had 2 very small brush fires within 24 hours. So let's be extra careful. And I think that'll do it. Oh, excuse me, Kristen, I'm happy to have a conversation on the deer anytime that you want. I've got a lot more to talk about on that subject, so let me know. Mark, you too.
Thank you. Councilwoman Holman, would you like to give your report?
Sure. Thank you. Let's see. First, thank you to the community for their continued efforts to conserve water and to comply with the phase 2 water restrictions that we have ongoing. We do continue to monitor the levels of our wells and the water tanks daily with Suez. Monday, as the recharge day of no watering, is very helpful to the system. And just as a reminder that if a resident does have a hardship, they have new plantings or something where they would need to use water outside of the restrictions, they should contact the borough or myself directly via email. We communicate very well. We did have a formal water meeting this past Tuesday, as well as a Friday meeting with Suez. And from an operations and management perspective, we're really in very good shape. Jeff Pickenich from Suez works amazingly well with Lane Simon and Ron Kistner from our team to keep on top of the Allendale water system. So, you know, it's an ongoing labor of love. I will be hosting an Allendale water community meeting, myself and Steve, on Thursday, August 6th at 7 p.m. It will be done through a GoToMeeting like what we're on right now. The information was initially sent out in the July happenings email that went out by Constant Contact earlier this week, as well as it will be posted. I don't think we posted it yet, but it will be on the borough website. So it'll be basically the agenda. We'll be talking about what the Allendale water components are, you know, what our working relationship is with Suez, a little bit about our water utilization, more information on the water restrictions, current and possibly future, and some additional content as I develop things out. Let's see. But if anybody ever has any concerns or questions, please feel free to contact me. My email's on the website. And then just something else that I'll encourage residents to explore is the opportunity for composting. The July happenings email, again, had the information. You have to scroll down, but it has the information from the Bergen County where you can actually purchase a green machine. I think it was $60, but I can tell you just personally that the amount of reduction in our actual garbage has been tremendous, and it's fun to just see how you know, how much waste is not going just into the trash, which is, you know, we pay to have hauled away. So, and it'll be, you know, cool. It's definitely composting down. So I'll just encourage residents to do that, particularly when everybody's at home. So that's my report, but any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And thanks, Amy, for all the work you've been doing on 220, 230. It's
And
great.
you.
Well, it's great being a part of that, but you've really helped keep us in a good direction. Thank you.
Great, Amy. So we have 3 minutes left. If you want to start, if you can finish, great. If not, we'll pick you up afterwards.
Okay, I'll start. I'll do my best. Crestwood Lake is still doing very well. Revenues are up. People are doing wonderfully with their social distancing and respecting everybody. I want to thank all the managers for really keeping this our rules and regulations in place, and also our DPW for keeping the lake looking beautiful and the water quality as great as it is. As Liz mentioned, 220, 230, we are going forward. We're still going forward, and tonight we're approving the bid for the cleanup. So we're looking forward to get that part of the project completed. There's still a lot of documents that we do have to go through to move forward to the closing. We're starting to look at the plans again, the schematic drawings. There's going to be a few tweaks to those, and once we get those a little bit further moving along, we'll bring back the vision committee and start sharing that with the community. As everybody hopefully received the new e-newsletter that we just put out and launched. It is chock full of information. We plan on doing this at least once a month, so people can just kind of scroll through and get daily information from our borough. There is also all the data of our staff, as well as all the council people, if you ever have any questions, and all our committees at the bottom. We're working through a lot of our grants. As you know, we have 2 grants that we applied for and received that we were looking to complete this year, but we're going to look at all our finances with COVID. But we're hoping to get the playground completed this year. And we are definitely moving forward with our DOT grant and looking forward to the downtown streetscape and working on that project. That's it.
Great. Thank you so much, Amy. Thanks for all of your efforts. What's that?
I think that was.
Oh no. Okay, that's fine. So 7:59. So I will request a motion to adjourn the work session.
So moved. Sasso.
Second?
Moment.
Omen. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, everyone stay tuned. We'll come back in a minute for the regular session. 8 o'clock. How time flies. We're having fun, right? Welcome back, everyone. 8 o'clock. 8 p.m., July 23rd, regular session of the Allendale Mayor and Council. Welcome to everyone who is joining us via video and teleconference. And for those who may have just joined us now, the work session started at 7:30. So we went through agenda review and opened the meeting to the public. And so now we're going to go through the agenda. I would ask at this time you please mute your devices so as not to distract from the business of the meeting. There will be 2 more opportunities during this meeting just for the public to speak. Once regarding anything on the agenda, and then at the end for anything that's not on the agenda. And we will advise you at the appropriate times. Michelle, if you can please read the Open Public Meetings Act announcement.
Sure. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, the notice requirements have been satisfied. The meeting dates for the year confirmed at the annual meeting are posted on the public bulletin board in the municipal building, published in the record within the first 10 days of the new year. Copies are sent to the Ridgewood News and Star Ledger. Notice of this meeting by the July 21st, 2020 Sunshine Notice was sent to the record, the Ridgewood News and Star Ledger, and has been posted on the public bulletin board in the municipal building and borough website.
Thank you very much. At this time, would you all please rise to salute the flag?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
United States of America,
To the
and to the republic for which it
for which
stands,
it stands, one
under
nation.
God,
liberty, and justice.
So if you can please conduct the roll call.
Sure. Councilwoman Homan? Here. Councilman O'Connell?
Here.
Councilman O'Toole?
Here.
Councilman Sasso?
Here.
Councilman Strouch?
Here.
Councilwoman Wilsinski?
Here.
And Mayor Bernstein.
Here, thank you. So approval of the minutes, I'm going to request a motion to approve the following minutes. May 28th, regular session. June 30th, work session and regular session. July 9th, work session and regular session. I request a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
Thank you, Amy. Second,
Second, O'Toole.
O'Toole. Thanks, Matt. Michelle, please conduct a roll call.
Councilwoman Homan?
Yes.
Councilman O'Connell?
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole?
Yes.
Councilman Sasso?
Yes.
Councilman Strouch?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilsinski?
Yes.
Great. Thank you. So this is the next time that we open the meeting to the public comment on agenda items only. So we had some discussion on the agenda items during the work session, which was fine. Is there anyone at this time who wishes to be heard on agenda items?
I do, Ari.
Okay, Kristen, sure.
Yeah, Kristen Sarnas, 74 Heights. Amy, this is a question for you regarding the 230 West Crescent soil remediation project. Is that going to be done independently of the sale and the renovation of that site? Or do we get this remediation done regardless of that deal going through?
So I think it's yes to both of those questions. So the remediation is contingent on the sale and closing of the property. If this sale did not go through, we would still be remediating the property.
It's the other way. It's the other way around. The sale is contingent on the remediation, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well,
Yeah.
this, I don't, what did I say? I thought that's what I said.
Okay, I'm sorry. Right.
So
the
in
sale-
order to close on the property, we need to remediate the property.
Oh, okay, good. So
If
it's
we-
definitely
if we
going to
did-
happen.
It's definitely going to happen. If we're not going through with this deal, we would still be remediating the property.
Okay, and did we get grants that helped us pay for the 298,000?
So we've actually applied for one grant, and there is another grant that we will be applying for, maybe 2 grants that we will be applying for.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great, thank you. Anyone else on agenda items? Any public comment? Not seeing any, we'll close the meeting to the public. Consent agenda, I reviewed in the work session. The council members, any question on the consent agenda? None? Okay. I would request a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved, Tolman.
Thank you, Liz. Second?
Second, Sasso.
O'Connell.
Thank you, Steve. Michelle, please conduct a roll call.
Councilwoman Homan,
Yes.
Councilman O'Connell,
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole,
Yes.
Councilman Sasso,
Yes.
Councilman Strouch,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilsinski.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Any unfinished business? Any new business? We will continue with our committee reports. Councilman O'Toole, I think you're up next.
Yes, sir. It's going to be quick. The committee has not met since our last meeting. As always, we're working on keeping the spending down. Ron and Lisa do an excellent job at keeping the spending to a minimum where it's possible. Other than that, we've had a couple of discussions regarding possibly bringing an intern in the fall. Thanks to Councilman Sasso for getting that kicked off. And we're going to review it in committee and see what we can do. It's a little challenging in the age of COVID, but we're going to do our best. That's all I've got.
Great, thank you. Councilman Strouch?
Okay, there we go. Thank you, Mayor Bernstein. Before I start with my DPW committee report, I'd like to just mention a water issue I had recently. It's a minor issue. I have a whole house filter down in my basement, and I check it once a week just to make sure there's no problems with it. And next to the whole house filter is the water meter, which if you flip it and shine a flashlight on it, will come to life. And for the first time ever, I had this little symbol that looked like a drip. And lo and behold, it was the low leak warning that the meter gives you. And I located the leak and I fixed the leak. So thank you very much, Liz Holman.
Yay! This is what I like to hear. Can we just post this section?
Listen, I'm just glad I don't have $1,000 water bill. My water bills are usually $150, $200, and that's a quarter. That means for less than $1,000 a year, I'm getting great, stable water delivered to every faucet and spigot in my house. So, thank you, Water Department, and thank you, Allendale, 1930s, when they put in the water system. So anyway, thank you. With regard to DPW, I was reviewing the minutes of the previous 3 meetings and noticed that I have this pattern of singling out somebody for praise during my reports. And I don't mean to in any way detract from the teamwork that everybody is doing, because I believe that everybody is putting out 110%. So I just want to make sure I haven't offended anybody and thank the entire DPW team, which straddles many departments. A lot of people in the office wear many hats, and I just want to thank everybody again. Whether it's something as simple as having the recycling center compost area open 4 days a week now, which I think is great. I'm sure the residents will appreciate it. Or whether it's the DPW staff and others working to set up the downtown district for the nighttime dining, which I think is wonderful for the community, including the businesses. So I think it's a win-win for everybody, and I appreciate everybody that's chipping in to make these things happen. I know that both Liz Holman and Amy Wilsinski mentioned the new monthly What's Happening in Allendale newsletter, and I want to thank them for that, because I think it's a great way of getting the word out. We used to use a quarterly mailed out newsletter, and I think having it monthly makes it easier to not stress about missing the deadline. And it just helps people know what's going on, and the links in it were great. So thank you, Amy, thank you, Liz, and thank you everybody on the team that made that happen. I can envision that Mark Savastano and I, as part of the recycling committee, will be looking to utilize that to get the word out about expanding recycling in Allendale. We already touch upon the major things in DPW. The paving's a big deal. The lake, as Amy said, is doing well. So I'm going to end it there. On a Goose Patrol note, I got an email from the recreation director at in West Milford, New Jersey, looking to possibly duplicate the volunteer Goose Patrol program in their town. So I just wanted to throw that in there because it's great when people come to Allendale and use us as a model, because I do that for a lot of towns when I don't want to reinvent the wheel. So I'm happy to offer anything extraordinary that we have. And I do believe that Goose Patrol is an extraordinary volunteer program. So I'm going to end it there, Ari.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for all of your input and your work. Most appreciated. Before I go to my report, I invited Sergeant Terry Lawler to come and speak. There has been discussions about speeding, traffic, etc. through Allendale, something which we discuss all the time. We happen to discuss it, as Councilman O'Connell and O'Toole know, we discussed it maybe 2 days ago, at our public safety meeting. But I wanted to have Sergeant Lawler speak to at least the traffic, the speeding in the town, what's being done, what routinely is being done. If you can just, there may be people listening, there may not, it'll at least be in the minutes that we've had this conversation.
Absolutely, Mayor. Thank you. I'd just like to, first of all, remind all residents that at any time they do have a concern about speeding in their neighborhood, to best source is to contact the police desk and inform the officers on duty, the dispatcher. And if it's not a street that we're already aware of, we will go out and start putting it on our list of streets that patrol and do radar enforcement. We try to do radar enforcement throughout the entire borough, but obviously there are streets that get more attention than other streets due to the volume of traffic on those streets. And depending on the time of year, obviously when school's in session, there's more strict enforcement. Not strict more enforcement, but there's more heavily patrolled in the areas of the school. The most important thing is right now we deployed our speed trailers to various points in the community. We actually just recently purchased a new speed sign that some may have noticed on Brookside Avenue. That sign is a portable sign. We have a couple locations based on the traffic officer's review of complaints that sign will be moved throughout to a few streets. It's a little bit more cumbersome, where we have to actually, with the help of Mr. Kistner and the DPW, we installed posts on the right of way, so we can mount that sign. They are battery operated, and with those signs, we do have the ability to do speed surveys, which we are presently doing on a few streets. Some of our more portable signs that you might be familiar with, the people that have seen downtown with the signboards, that can do speed surveys, and we're in the process of placing that sign out so we can do some speed surveys and get hard data to see exactly, one, what the speed is on an individual street, and two, if there is a problem on a street, the times of day, so we can better deploy officers for specific time periods. Is it just during rush hour? Is it morning rush, afternoon rush, or during the just middle of the day? So these are all the steps that we're taking to address it. And again, I always encourage, and the chief of police, Chief Sherb, I know has repeatedly said it, if anyone ever has concern, they always reach out to the police desk, and that's the first place they should go to speak to officers and address the situation concerns.
Great, I appreciate it, and we discuss it, and Councilman O'Connell and O'Toole can attest to it. I mean, public safety, I've been on it, and as the mayor, I attend. I mean, it's a concern, right? We know, the concern, the safety of the residents, the pedestrians, the kids on bikes, particularly now where people are home and there's a lot of walkers. We want to be vigilant to make sure that it's as safe as possible. And you're taking those steps.
Absolutely, thank you.
Okay, great. As long as I have Sergeant Lawler here, anyone have a question for Sergeant Lawler?
Yes, Mayor Mark Savastano.
Okay.
22 Breland Place. Sergeant, I had raised issues about the downtown several times during council meetings in the past. And I believe I wrote to Steve Sasso about them. I would enjoy the possibility of having a conversation about ways to make the downtown a little safer, specifically speeding through the center of town, and also the parking of vehicles in the spaces that are vertical to the sidewalk. A lot of times they're occupied by vehicles that are much too large for those spaces, and they block the right of way for traffic and cause people to cross the yellow line in order to proceed to town. But if it's, maybe I can write something to you by email, and perhaps we can have a conversation about other concerns there.
Yeah, that'd be great, Mr. Savastano. You could address myself, email. It's T Lawler, T as in Tom, LAWLER @AllenDalePD.org, all one word. And if you forward me that email, I will be sure to forward it to Sergeant Griffith and Officer Stetner, who are two traffic officers, and they'll be better answered to, I should say, position to respond to your questions and concerns, as they are the experts in the department regarding to traffic and traffic enforcement and parking in the downtown.
Okay.
And Mark, if you would, I think just to keep everyone in their proper lanes, you can CC myself, the mayor, and CC Councilman O'Connell and O'Toole, as Mr. O'Connell chairs public safety and Matt O'Toole is second. So why don't you CC the appropriate members of the mayor and council as well?
Okay, taking that down right now. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Savastano, I'll be sure to forward your email to the chief of police.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Terry, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Mayor. Thank you. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.
So now I will move to my mayor's report. COVID-19 update. With the rising numbers throughout the state and the country, we committed to stopping the spread of the virus, practice social distancing, and wear masks. Allendale OEM team, we continue to meet, we continue to discuss, we continue to take action. In fact, we had a meeting last night where we discussed where we are. Do we have the proper PPE going forward? What our numbers are, and how to best, what can we do to maintain and protect the residents of Allendale. We continue to work in cooperation with Bergen County and the state of New Jersey, and we will continue to try to keep you safe and informed. You can go to the state website for the most up-to-date information, NJ's COVID-19 page at covid19.nj.gov. In anticipation of today's meeting, I did reach out to the Bergen County Health Director, Hansel Asmar, yesterday, because we have, as you see in other parts of the country, the numbers are very concerning, and even other parts of New Jersey. So I wanted to be able to speak to Allendale about where we are in Allendale. So Mr. Asmar was fortunate enough was willing enough to, kind enough to spend some time with me over the phone. And let me give you an overview for the last month. And I'm going to give you the number of new cases and the number of deaths. Cases from June 27th to July 22nd, so about a month, our cases went from 118 to 122, which was an increase of 4. Our deaths went from 26 to 28, which was an increase of 2. However, to both of those numbers, I asked, are those new cases? He said, Mayor, I don't think they're new cases. In fact, I think they're old cases. He believed that the increase is due to data cleaning, where they go back and they look to see in the past and perhaps retally those numbers, which was the same reason when our number jumped up by about 30 and people were concerned that, as I spoke to on 2 different occasions, that had to do from old cases in March and April. They went back and they didn't count the first time. So our numbers remain low, our numbers stay low, and based upon the last month, the numbers largely are unchanged, which is good news. And we should continue as we do more, as things start to open, as we have more, dine out in Allendale, et cetera. We just want to make sure social distancing and practicing those things. Like Amy all the great efforts that she put in, and Liz at Crestwood Lake, to make sure that it was done safely. Now you have to follow through and follow those protocols so that they're not for naught. Bergen County Cares Small Business Grant Program. There's still time to submit an application for the Bergen County Cares Small Business Grant Program. If your business was deemed non-essential and forced to close due to COVID-19 pandemic, you may be eligible to receive up to $10,000 to cover rent, business mortgage payments, and utility expenses. For more information, you can go to www.co.bergen.nj.us, and the deadline to apply is Friday, July 24th. So that would be tomorrow. Orange and Rockland power outages. With the summer, we often we get the power outages. If you have a power outage, or if you have a problem, you should call to report it. The number 1-877-434-4100. Tyler, is that number? Do we have a link to that on our website? Okay, it's in the newsletter. And can we put that on our webpage as well? Great, thank you. So you check that the power isn't out because of one of your breakers or fuses tripped, and if a problem still persists, you to contact O&R to advise them of the problem. And then the census, which I know doesn't garner a lot of interest, but you guys were rock stars. We were great. We harped on it, but it inures to our benefit. We want to be counted, so additional monies come to us. We have been recognized as one of only 18 Bergen County towns that have met or exceeded our last census response rates. Is that right, Michelle? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Michelle, for all your hard work, and for everyone else involved. Let's keep it going. You can www.2020census.gov. And that is the end of my mayor's report. So our professionals and staff, Ray Wiss, would you like to give your report?
A very busy 2 weeks, particularly as it relates to documents, Mayor. As was mentioned, with the approval at the last meeting of the purchase and sale agreement, we moved promptly with the Borough Committee on to review and preparation of the additional ancillary documents. So that process is moving forward. And then some of the other items are reflected on this evening's agenda. We reviewed the submission by D&L Paving for the road program. We reviewed the bid for the soil remediation project by Ambient, and also the proposal by Neglia Engineering with respect to the streetscape. So very heavy into documents in the last 2 weeks, but the good news is that 3 of those became action items on this evening's agenda.
Great. Thank you very much. Michelle?
Just briefly, the Bergen County Board of Elections finished counting the more than 142,000 ballots that were cast on July 7th. The July 7th primary election. They've released the unofficial totals, which can be found by going to the clerk's page under departments on our website. There were a total of 1,368 total ballots cast in Allendale. And the county expects to certify the results of the election at 4 o'clock tomorrow. And that concludes my report.
Great, thank you very much. Mr. Kistner?
Yeah, sure. Under my DPW hat, we had a squirrel unfortunately hit one of our 3-phase electric system a few weeks ago, and the Lennox unit that supplies AC to part of the library, one of the 10-ton compressors went. You guys approved a check today for me, and the compressor will be getting changed early next week. We were able to, with the 10-ton compressor already, the other one operating, we have kept the library comfortable and in good working condition. Summertime, I'm glad I'm not doing it, but we do have a number of catch basins. We went around, we checked some catch basins. That's the way the water runoff goes. We found a number of in condition that needed repairs, and we are in the process of repairing a number of the catch basins throughout the borough. I'm happy to report the streets will be getting swept tomorrow, just in time for Saturday, especially the downtown area, for Saturday night's dining in Allendale event. I guess it'll be the fifth one we're doing. I believe it's fourth or fifth one. Fourth. So that'll be getting done Saturday night, and the downtown area will be swept, and working with the PD, the DPW ready with all the vehicles, and we'll have the place safe and looking good for Saturday night. I apologize to Commissioner Strouch. These are things I thought I'd sent them. I realized they never got to them. Under my administrator's hat, I want to thank Michelle and Alyssa for working with me, and Ray's office, Wiss's office especially, dealing with the new education of the COVID-19 regulations with employees who are, going on vacation to a state that is not on the governor's list, and by the time they come back is on the governor's list, and such things like that. We have such loyal employees. None of them are looking to be out, but we do have to implement the advisory requirements the governor is requesting for the safety of the employee as well as all his or her coworkers. So that's been a challenge, but really a great team effort by everyone I mentioned to make sure that gets taken care of. And that's all I have, Your Honor.
Ron, thank you, and thank you for everything you do. As I've said, the texts start going at normally 5:30 in the morning, and we finish with a phone call at 10:30 at night. And
just to be clear, that's on your end.
Yeah, no, I don't know how you do it, but please keep doing it.
Thank you.
Lisa, so great to see you. Anything to report?
Just the taxes are due August 1st. The grace period is till August 10th. And you can pay online through our website. You can drop it in the Dropbox, or you can put it in the mail.
Great, thank you very much. And now near the end of the meeting, before public comment, or anyone who wishes to be heard, anything at all.
Hi, Mayor Mark Savastano. I just want to give a brief report, hi, Mayor, about the progress we're making with the styrofoam recycling. But thank you to Councilman O'Connell and Strouch, and also our fellow citizen member, Mr. Frost. Amy, thank you very much for the article that you gave me. Yeah, that was very helpful, and it spurred some additional research so that I found out not only is Middletown Township in Monmouth County already involved in a program where they're recycling styrofoam and making money, but so is Sussex County. There is a company that gives you a machine for a cost of, I believe it was approximately $60,000. And then you can recycle the styrofoam, and there's a market for it at a value of about $200 to $500 per ton, depending on the time that you sell it. So it can be a cost-effective program. Councilman O'Connell is reaching out to County Executive Tedesco to find out if we can get some cooperation and some grants in that regard, and a place to place this machine, and we can move forward with our program, begin collecting it and making a difference. The material is actually recycled, and it's used to create molding for homes and picture frames, and that material again can be recycled. So it's a full circle, something that you never have to throw in the trash again, which I found to be amazing. Not only can you make money on the product, you keep it out of the landfill, and it's forever used. Excuse me. So I'm looking forward to our first collection and making a few dollars for the county, and perhaps getting some of that money back to Allendale.
Great.
Hey,
Thank you, Mark.
On that, who incurs the cost of the machine?
Well, it was done through the county, Sussex County, and Monmouth County went ahead and purchased the the device on their own. And they are serving as the collection point for the entire county of Monmouth.
Okay, oh, good. So you're going to the county to get their
Yes.
buy-in on this?
Yes,
Excuse me if I can. Mark, excuse
Yes.
me for a minute. Steve, I got in the number for the Bergen County recycling person. So I'm going to talk to him to see if he's got a spot for it and if he would like to purchase it and give him all the information. So we have one spot in Bergen County to recycle the foam and keep styrofoam and keep it out of landfill. So right now I got a call in for him and I'm waiting for a call back.
That's great, because for the record, I hate styrofoam.
I just don't like the sound of it when it's rubbed together, to be honest
Me
with you.
neither.
So I agree.
Yeah, it's a big mess. I hate it.
We want recycling.
All right, Mark, can I drop it off at your house?
I have my crop today.
The only time I get any styrofoam at all is when I buy something and I have little control over that. But
Yes.
I can't, or something is shipped to me and it drives me nuts. So I'm glad to get it out of here. And I'm glad that it's going to be a county initiative in terms of the expense, especially.
Oh, absolutely. Was one of my primary concerns, that it didn't cost the borough anything. Or is very,
That's what we're trying for.
yes. So that's great news that the county can get involved. Yeah.
Great, thank you so much.
All right, great. And thank you, Mark. Anyone else wish to be heard? Not seeing anyone, close the meeting to the public. I would request a motion to adjourn the regular session.
So
So move the tunnel.
Second.
Okay, thank you, Ed. Second.
Mary,
Second.
do you hear me?
Thank you, Amy. All right, all in favor?
Wait. Ari, you got another question out there. You
I'm
got
sorry, I
another
wasn't sure you can hear me or not.
Noggle.
It's, Chris Monagle, 244 Schuyler. Mark, so one of my colleagues, Jay Perez from Upper Saddle River, did the styrofoam collection over the winter. So I know they have started a program. I don't know how far along they are with that. I can, if you give me your email, I'll be happy to put you in touch with them.
Okay. I don't know how I would send you my email, but
Why doesn't he send it? Why doesn't he send it to either, I guess,
You can send it to me.
to Michelle?
okay. You can pass it along. Yeah, Chris, I've gotten in contact with most of the surrounding communities and found that not only is everybody interested, but many of them have already instituted some program to begin collecting it and recycling it. So I'm glad to hear that. You said it was Saddle River or Upper Saddle River?
Upper, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if I apologize. If you've already done that part, then I apologize for.
No, not at all. I had not contacted Upper Saddle River, so I'm glad to hear they're also involved, but I'd be glad to speak to them about what they've done. Thank you.
Okay.
I think we just needed a second to close the meeting.
Yeah, and we got the second. All in favor?
Bye.
Thank you very much. That concludes
Thank you,
our
guys.
meeting. Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye.
Happy
Good night, everyone.
anniversary.